Watching a writer write is, I think it would be more exciting if you like watch paint dry or watch the grass grow. It's not as fun as watching an artist, because at least as you watch him draw, you see it come together, diba? Probably just, this is it. This is the closest you'll get to me thinking of something, and we'd be here for like 3 hours. And that's it, and you'd run out of batteries, so it wouldn't be fun. Whether it's thinking of ideas for an ad or thinking of ideas for a story, I could be sitting here drinking coffee, and if an idea comes, I will just doodle on this receipt. They do say that sometimes the best ideas come when you're not thinking about it. When you focus too much, when you're like trying so hard to think of that idea, it just slips you. It just slips your grasp. I'd write it all down in a notebook on what I want that idea to be. If I can, as much as possible, I would want to outline it from beginning to end. If I can't finish that, then at least I would have these milestones in the story. I know that there is a crime here, there is a clue here, and this is the solution. Sometimes it's just a scene, and sometimes it's just page 5, 13 and Kambal kick ass. And so it's not very poetic, but ganun lang kasimple minsan yung description. And after that is like a day later or 2 days later, that's when I sit in front of my computer and start to write down all of my notes. But as I write down my notes, that's when I fill in the details. And that would be the first draft. I would already know, for example, I know that Tracy would be having an argument with Budjette Tan. So I'll just keep writing that argument. And then as I break it down into a page, I realize that it becomes, for example, 4 pages. So I can actually edit it down to 2 pages. It might not be the most efficient way of writing. I'm sure there's a way I could have saved more time doing it. But for me, I let the story flow. That's roughly the not so exciting process of my writing. I keep a notebook when I work. What I've started to do a couple of years back was my work notebook, where I write down all of the schedules and meetings and ideas for ads. That's all of that is on one side, and then I flip the notebook. On the back side of it is all of the comic book ideas. If I encounter a writer's block, then usually I like, then I stop. At the back of my notebook are several things happening at the same time. So I could have like an outline for the next 13 story. And it could just be a blurb, a line, and a crime scene which I want to explore. Or I start to list down things that I want to do. Like I want her to go to Chinatown. I want her to investigate this crime or that crime. And sometimes as I write that down, it makes me think of how to solve the writer's block. The writer's block for me happens when I know I want to take the character to this point, but I can't. Or I don't know, where does she find the next clue? Or how does she solve this crime? So it is a mystery to me as well. Sometimes I know what the crime is, but I don't know how she will solve it. Get stuck, I guess, a little research would, that's what I do. I would read something else. Sometimes, of course, the internet becomes a major distraction, and I end up not writing anything at all. I actually got to finish almost, I think, we finished a story a month back then. But then he got conscious when we realized people were buying our books. So instead of spending 1 day on a page, he would like spend 2-3 days on a page, so he could like put the details that he wants to. So that gave me more time to like slack off, or it just gave me more time to do for the next script. So nangyari rin, so parang we were not able to maintain it. So now the deadlines we work towards would be like whether it's good or bad. It's the next Comic-Con. If I get to write a story, siguro, these days, maybe it takes me 2-3 months to do a story. Dati kasi we would pressure each other. So once I'm done with the story, I like pass it to Kadjo. And then I would ask him, where are the pages? And once he's done with the pages, he would like bug me, where's the next book? So nakatulong yung us giving each other deadline. We have a very nice publisher. Alam naman din ng publisher namin that we have day jobs. So for her, if we get to submit something, then it's fine. I mean, it's not like, it's not like a magazine or a newspaper which has a regular deadline. There's always some mistake you want to fix. There's always some detail you feel that could have been better. There's that old saying about how stories and poems are abandoned. I'd never finish, you abandon them. Because if you try and finish it and perfect it, you never will. Comic book script is your love letter to your partner. It's a love letter to your artist. So depending on your relationship with your artist, lalo na kung matagal na kayong magkasama, parang mag-asawa, you start to develop a shorthand. So kung bago pa lang kayo, sometimes our writer can put so much detail. But there are some writers naman, like me, who go, page 5, 13 and Kambal, enter the room and kick ass. Bahala ka na Kadjo sa fight scene. May mga ganun. Depending on if a detail or a moment is important for me, then I would include that. But since me and Kadjo both had advertising training, parang I think that's where we developed our shorthand for each other. There have been instances of an artist or a writer feeling that this story is not for me. So posibleng mangyari yan. And you only find that out as you work together. It happens. Sure, there will be moments, there might be some artistic differences, but yeah, if it lasts too long, then it might not be the best partnership in the world. I think it was a matter of luck. I mean, I think we were able to work on each other, we played off each other's strengths, and that's why we ended up complementing each other.